everybody. Happy New Year. I hope that you all had an absolutely wonderful holiday with your family, your friends, whoever you spend it with. I hope it was great and relaxing and everything that you needed in life. It's officially January. It's 2019. It's the new year. I just wanted to take a minute and thank all of you for being on this journey with me. This YouTube channel is sort of a totally different endeavor than I'm normally on. I work mostly in TV, so kind of producing and creating this whole thing on my own and being solely responsible for actually putting out the content is, it's a lot of fun, but it's really different. And so you guys watching the videos and commenting and telling me what you like, what you don't like, it's all been super helpful and I really appreciate it. It's made the whole process a lot more fun. So thank you for that. Every single Monday we'll have a 5 Ways to Friday styling video. Those are the videos where I take one item and I style them 5 ways. And then on Fridays we do the DIYs, mainly fashion, some home decor. If there's anything that you want to see, anything you saw out in the real world that you'd like to learn how to make, please send them my way. But today I wanted to do a really cool sweater DIY. Now, this sort of open back sweater is something I've seen like street style photos from fashion weeks past, and I love them. I just think it's so cool and really sexy that you've got this really simple normal sweater in the front and then you turn around and it's like pow, and it's this fun little moment in the back. So I wanted to do that, and we can do this with really any sweater that you already own, or hit up your local thrift store, pick up something cheap that you don't mind cutting up and practice with that one first. If this is the type of sweater that you really need a bra with because maybe it's a little bit like open or holey, then just think about that in the back and the size of the ribbon that you buy. Maybe make sure that you buy something a little bit thicker so it could hide like a thin strap of a bra, or just wear a really cool fun bra that's like a contrast. So that's the only thing I'd say. Think about that. Obviously, when it's open in the back, that's always an issue. But other than that, this is a really fun one. Let's do materials. All right, step 1, you want to measure the width of your sweater. That way you can find your perfect center. So that's what I did. I measured it and realized that 9.5 was my center. And now you just want to put a pin into the sweater as a marking point. Now, if your sweater is ribbed like mine, you can follow one of those rib lines all the way up and just cut along that line. Fabric scissors will help to make sure this is nice and crisp. Now, fold over your sweater as much as you want. I wanted about 3.5 to 4 inches on either side, which was going to give me an 8-inch opening in the back. If I went much more than that, it would kind of start to encroach on my sides, which I didn't want. Make sure that you really focus on the very bottom and the very top when you're pinning it. That way it's nice and even when you sew. Now, if you decided you didn't want to sew and you just wanted to use fabric glue, that's totally fine. You would just fold this flat back, apply your fabric glue in a straight line, just as you do with a stitch, and now flip the fabric over and kind of press it into place. Then you would cut off the excess and you're good. I am gonna sew it though because I've got the perfect thread to match, which just makes me so happy. Now you can see I'm giving myself kind of a bigger hem. Normally you would do maybe like a 1/2 inch, 1/4 inch. I've got about, maybe a 3-inch piece there, and I'm going to give myself about a 1.5 to 2-inch hem. So everything to the right of the presser foot is going to be my hem line. I'm just following that metal placket on the bottom of my sewing machine in order to have a straight line. You can see there again, about 1.5 inch to 2-inch wide hem. You can actually see that sort of 2-inch wide hemline in the stitch, which I think looks really nice. Now take your bows and lay them out where you think they're going to visually be pleasing. Definitely having one at the very top of your neck and then just spacing them out as you like. Now I'm taking my ribbon and I'm laying it on top and overlapping it approximately 1/2 inch. In the area of your bust, if you wanted it tighter, this is an area where you would actually make the ribbon shorter, which would pull in and make the bust tighter. I don't want that. I want it straight all the way down, so I'm doing that. I'm also measuring the distance between my bows to make sure that they're perfectly even. It was about 4.5 inches, so I just double checked it. Now take your ribbon and pin it on the inside of your sweater so that you don't actually see the stitch, so it's pinned just like that, nice and even. Now, if you were using fabric glue, again, this is where you would apply the fabric glue. You would just fold back your ribbon, add a little bit of fabric glue. That's not what I'm gonna do though, I am going to sew. On the very top one, the one that's by your neckline, you not only want to stitch up and down, but you actually want to stitch side to side, making sure that you're going along the neckline. For the rest of them though, you don't have to do that. I just put on a zigzag stitch and I stitched up and down on all, both sides on each ribbon. Now I trim off the excess of my ribbon and trim off my threads. I'm also trimming the excess from when I sewed. I don't need that little, whatever that is, that extra excess. I don't need it, so I'm just cleaning up so that my seams are nice and clean on the inside. Now flip the sweater inside out, and it's time to apply our bows. This is a fabric glue job for sure. There's really no need to sew it, and I think fabric glue is actually a better option here. When you get to the part where you've got your sweater in place, make sure to put a protective backing of some sort. That way you don't actually get glue on the front of your sweater. Okay, this is totally optional, but I thought it would be really cool. I wanted to kind of have a tie-in in some way to the cool ribbons on the back. So I cut 2 lengths of ribbon that are even, and I measured 7 inches up from my cuff. I put pins 7 inches all the way around so that I made sure to be perfectly even. And now I'm lacing a ribbon through it. Easiest way to do this actually is to take a pair of tweezers, close the tweezers and push them through a stitch, then open them, grab onto your ribbon and pull it through. This allows you to actually weave through the stitches in your sweater without cutting any holes in it, because if you cut holes, all of a sudden the whole thing would unravel. So now you can see the ribbon is in there, and I'm just making sure to flatten it so it's not twisted on me in any way. So just take your time there. Alrighty, so I pulled the tie through and I ended up deciding to tie a little bow on the sleeve, not only because it'll look really cute from the front, but also it ties into the bows we have in the back, so it makes it feel much more like a designed piece. I'm gonna let these little bows on the back dry and move on to the next sweater, but one tip. What I recommend doing is putting a teeny piece of double stick tape on the back of the bow, and once you have it all in place, you just do it and like push it, and it will stay perfectly in place on your back. And when I try it on, you'll see I'll be able to move around, the sweater will still move, but all the bows will stay stacked exactly where they're supposed to, facing the right way. So it's a really great tip. It's something that you probably don't know people do in photo shoots and red carpet, street style stuff, because it keeps everything right where it's supposed to be, and it's comfortable. That stuff's not uncomfortable at all. Okay, let's move on to the other one. So here's the sweater. For step 1, basically, you guys just want to cut all along the edge of the neckline going up to the shoulder seam. So just cut as close to that edge as you possibly can without cutting into the neckline. Now I'm basically gonna cut out like a giant U. That is what this DIY is. It's super simple. And the best way to do it evenly is to fold your sweater in half. So you're cutting a half a U. So start at the very top of your neckline, and you're just gonna go kind of straight until you get maybe 10 to 12 inches down, and then you're gonna curve in. That's it. That's that full DIY. You just cut. So you might get a little bit of fraying, but there's a product called Fray Check, which I will link below, and you would just run it all along the edge and it will prevent it from fraying. So that's really it. I would not recommend actually hemming this because you're gonna end up with like the stitch impression, and I don't think it's as cool as when it rolls back. But let's try it on and see how it looks.